Prabhupada, yes. Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody. We are reading Bhagavad Gita, Learn Gita, Live Gita. And we are studying chapter number 2, and yesterday we discussed the concept of infinity and many related concepts. Okay, let's start with some questions. Do you have any questions? So yesterday we discussed, this is very important verse which we discussed yesterday, that infinity or by definition absolute truth must be inconceivable, and by definition he must be the source of everything, right? And we discussed, we gave the example that if you talk of even the scientists, the genuine scientists, not everybody, I told you that mostly scientists are just only after publications, name and fame, and money, but the genuine scientists, that those who are really scientists, the unbiased, neutral, right thinkers, so they are looking for absolute truth. They are looking for that. What is that which is causing everything? Like, what are the laws of nature? Can we formulate them mathematically? And can we say that these are the ones from where the entire universe has come up? Right? So they think something is existing at the very foundation which is governing everything. And so they call it as, they think, this is their hypothesis, that it's a law of physics, or it's just an equation. But we know from very clear logic, from very clear understanding, that just laws cannot give rise to structure. Of course, structure obeys certain laws, but that information has to be put by some source, right? And for example, if same physical laws are there, this laptop is also existing, mobile phone is also existing, and fan is also existing, tube light is also existing. Same laws of how electrons are moving under potential difference, same laws how electricity is being conducted, same laws how resistors, capacitors, everything same laws, but the design is completely different. That is why the effect is also completely different. The kind of information which you get from laptop is very different from the kind of information that you get from a fan or from a light or from a mobile phone, right? So this means just laws are not sufficient. So this is what is responsibility of you all, Krishna conscious devotees or Krishna conscious scientists, that you understand it and then show to the world very clearly that how just laws are not sufficient. You have to have the source of information. The source is important. So sir often says, sir has a what do you call, a punchline or a popular slogan: source matters. Right? Source matters. So yes, so that is why Krishna says, I am the source of everything, right? And like this in the verse we said, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Means nothing exists without Krishna. Means Krishna is the source of everything, spiritual as well as material. Can you please discuss causality that you mentioned yesterday? Okay, causality is a very deep topic. So generally in around us, we can only I think in causality my understanding is not very deep. I have been trying to understand it, but maybe you should ask Sir. Sir can explain much better. But I can just tell you my understanding, but it may be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, it's difficult. So causality. So, okay, at least some things are clear, that in statistics we can only study correlations. There is no causality in statistics. There can be only correlations. For example, you are seeing certain phenomena are existing and they coexist. And you cannot say this phenomenon causes that phenomenon, right? So this is a very famous philosophical argument also, I think given by, maybe somebody remembers the name, maybe it is by Kant or maybe by somebody with H. Hume, by Hume I think. Okay, I don't know, means I have not studied these things in detail, but I had a friend in Oxford University. He was a philosopher, means he did his work in logic and philosophy, and he's also a devotee. I used to discuss with him and he will tell me Kant's philosophy or Hume's philosophy, and also I heard from Sir's lectures a little bit. So based on that I have developed some understanding which I can try to share with you. So this is, Hume has said, there cannot be any causality. There can only exist correlations, because you can never find causality in nature. You can only seek correlations. For example, a seed is there. From a seed, a tree comes out. So, okay, no, not a good example. What should I say? Tell me some examples. Give me some example of some event. I'm not remembering any event. For example, okay, H2 and O2, they combine and water is formed, right? You burn hydrogen air, or basically when H2 and O2 combine, water is formed. Can you say the combining of H2O2 is the cause of forming of water, or you can just say, no, they are just correlated things, that whenever H2 and O2 will come together in this particular way in presence of electricity or whatever, and then you get water. It's just a correlation. This is not that this is causing that thing, right? There is no causality there. It's just correlation. That when this happens, this also happens. This is just, they are correlated events. But you cannot say this event caused this event, right? I'll give you an example. Like we discussed yesterday, a very good example, happiness and release of, what was that called? Endomorphin? No, what is it called? What is that release? Endomorphin, he said. Something. Dopamine, yes, dopamine is released. So endorphin, okay, Chahat Prabhu is saying endorphin. So okay, so one of these things is released, endorphin or dopamine. So whenever we are happy, this is released, or whenever this is released, we are happy. So scientists can never know that this is the cause, but they can only know they are correlated. Whenever we are happy, we are happy, this is released, both happen together. That is it. Now what is causing what, we don't know. Similarly, if you are sick, means if you are having certain symptoms and you are having certain virus, so symptoms and virus, I think virus is not a good example. Sickness and symptoms, they are correlated, but you cannot say sickness caused the symptoms or symptoms caused the sickness. I think it is getting little complicated, because okay, let me try to explain in another way. So my understanding, this is my understanding, that whenever you say a cause, an agent has to be involved. Without an agent, cause cannot exist. Means there is no notion of causality. And who is that agent? That agent, I think it must be a living being, right? So for example, when I say, if you plant the seed, tree comes out. So I am involved, I can control the experiment, I can plant the seed and tree will come out. So the cause is, then you say, no, the planting of seed is the cause of the tree. But I planted, So actually I am the cause. I am the agent who did the action and that propagated. So that directionality is established only because of the agent, which is the living being, right? So otherwise there is no directionality, right? Causality means directionality. Correlation means no directionality. Two things are occurring, that is it, they are occurring. But what is causing what? The directionality, the notion of directionality, it comes when an agent comes into picture. Because the agent is one who sets things into motion. So this is my understanding. I don't know, I have not heard this, or means I have not confirmed this from sir. I don't know how I developed that understanding, maybe in some discussion with sir, but I have not confirmed it, so please take it with a pinch of salt that this may be wrong also. Okay. But this is my understanding that our causality is caused by a living being, and I kind of support it with this verse from Bhagavatam, from Bhagavad Gita, which says 7.4, I think, which says what is that? Yayadam dharyate jagat. Parastasmat, no. Parastasmat, no. Okay. Bhumirapanal vayu khammano buddhirevacha ahankaram ityame bhinna prakritirashtadha. The next is aparayam itaswanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayadam dharyate jagat. Thank you, Pastor. So aparayam itastu anyam. So this is aparayam means other than this, anyam, there is another prakriti which is jiva bhuta, means the living entity, the living agent, yayadam dharyate jagat, who is setting things into motion, or who is the agent who is manipulating things. So means this is my understanding that the notion of causality comes into picture because of a living entity. Without that, it is just correlations. Like things are happening in the nature, like when winds blow, the leaves make a sound, or leaves are making sound and wind is blowing, they are both correlated. Of course, it is difficult to imagine that leaves are blowing, leaves are making sound, and that is making the winds blow. That is little difficult for us to understand, difficult for us to imagine. The reason is that because we put in the notion of agent, that this agenthood, which is actually coming from us, because we see that things cannot move unless we do something. Like, but then there is another logical theory that of the law of gravitation. If I move my finger, it is causing disturbance in the distant stars also, right? You cannot move your finger without disturbing the stars, somebody says. So of course the effect is very, very small as per the scientific calculations or their understanding of law of gravity. The effect is very minuscule, very small, but still there is an effect, right? So we cannot ascribe a causal principle without bringing agent into picture. So this is my understanding. Okay. Hare Krishna. Let's move on. Okay, so from the purport to that verse, Chahat Prabhu quotes, the cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entities. Energies are always controlled by the energetic. So it means the energy is caused to move or to flow in a particular direction by the energetic. So means that is why this from this I derive the understanding that causality comes from an agent who is a living being, and we are activated, or we are actuated by Paramatma, means Krishna. So ultimate cause is Krishna. That is why Krishna is called Sarva Karana Karanam, right? He is actuating us, and we are actuating things around us in a particular direction, right? How Krishna actuates us, that is a very deep science. Then, as Krishna will explain in 7th chapter and also in 9th chapter, that he is there but he is not there. So that is very complicated. What Krishna says, Mai Sarvani Bhutani. Okay. Mathani sarva bhutani. Okay, what is that verse? Maya tatamidam sarvam. Maya tatamidam sarvam. Jagadavyakstamurtina. Mathani sarva bhutani. Nachaham teshvavastitah. Nacha mathani bhutani. Pashyame yogamaishwaram. Bhuta bhinna cha bhutastho. Mamatma bhuta bhavana. This is 9th chapter, I think 3rd and 4th verse, or maybe 4th and 5th verse. Okay, so what Krishna is saying, that I am in everybody, means I am everywhere, I am in everybody, but still I am not in them. I am still aloof. So this looks like a contradiction, but this is a very beautiful understanding. Of course, it corroborates what we read, that Krishna is inconceivable. We can never conceive how he is everywhere, but still he is not there. And on a pragmatic side, we can see, although Krishna is allowing everything, or Krishna is actuating everything, but he does not interfere with our free will. So that is why he is not responsible for whatever good or bad is coming to us, right? Although he has made the whole arrangement, he has made the whole system, and then he has allowed us, okay, now you choose. What do you want? What action you want to perform? You want to go this way or that way? He gives you a choice. But he is not interfering with your choice. So, but still, when you make a choice, he only actuates everything. If you make this choice, okay, I want to go this way, then Krishna will actuate everything so that you can actually go in that way. So in that way, he is there, but still he is not there because he didn't choose for you. You have to make the choice. So whether you want to read Bhagavad Gita or you want to watch some movie, so that's your choice. Krishna has given you freedom. But once you make a choice, I want to, let's say, watch a movie, then how that experience will take place, how Krishna gave intelligence to Thomas Alva Edison, to invent electricity, and today you are using that electricity to run your television or your laptop. And then Krishna is giving intelligence to so many scientists to create screens, LED screens. And then Krishna has given you the capability to experience that when the pixels on the screen are moving in a certain way, you perceive people moving, you perceive somebody, some actor, some actress, some villain, some hero, and things like that. You perceive that. It is not there. It's not there in the screen, but still you perceive that. That perception happens because of Krishna. And it's very, very, if you go to great details, you will see how Krishna is actually actuating everything. But the choice is with us. If you want to watch a movie and degrade, Krishna tells you in Bhagavad Gita, okay. So now you may say, okay, Krishna gave me the freedom to make choice, but he did not tell me what choice will bring what kind of result, right? If I made this choice, what is the outcome of this choice? If I make this choice, what is the outcome? That Krishna did not tell. No, Krishna, no. Even I am coming to tell you that. I have given you, Krishna comes to give us Bhagavad Gita. Krishna sends his devotees to help us understand Bhagavad Gita, to help us progress in our spiritual understanding. So that is why Krishna is giving us also the knowledge, what kind of choice will lead to what kind of results. So if we give somebody choice, or Krishna has given us choice, but he does not tell the consequences of each choice, that is like cruelty, right? It is like you are sending a person into an electrical engineering lab without telling what bulb or what to do. For example, if he may put a switch somewhere incorrectly and turn on the button, then whole lab will be blasted and he will be in a bad shape, right? So that is why it is very important that the teacher will, or the professor will send the student into the lab and tell, okay, if you do this, the circuit will run like this. If you do this, this is a mistake. This will cause short circuit and things will be blasted. So the teacher gives him the consequences, tells him this is the consequence if you do this action. This is the consequence if you do this action. Similarly, Krishna is, so what I'm saying is, giving choice without telling the outcome will be very cruel. So Krishna has given us choice, but he has also told us, okay, if you make this choice, this will be the outcome. So, and then he says, okay, now you decide. Now do what you like. Yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. That's what Krishna tells Arjuna finally. Krishna tells the entire Bhagavad Gita, but finally he gives him the choice. Okay, now you make an intelligent decision on your own. Right? That's what Krishna is doing with us. He's giving us choice and he's telling us the consequences. And okay, now you may feel depressed, right? Because Krishna is very okay. He's telling us he's like a very strict teacher, right? Krishna is like a very strict teacher. He makes the rules for us. Let's say I'm in a school. Teacher will make the rules for us and tells us these are the rules. Obey these rules. And if I obey those rules, I'm very good. If I do a little bit mistake, then I have to suffer the consequences, right? Because this is the rule of the school, right? So this looks very cruel. Means this is nice. This is proper justice, very well justified. But I may ask this question, oh, that principal or that lawmaker, whoever made these rules, the governing authority of the school, he is not within those laws, right? He is not with us to see what problems we are facing. Like Arjuna asks Krishna, Athakena prayuktoyam. What is that? Who can tell this verse from 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Athakena prayuktoyam. Athakena prayuktoyam. Nobody is answering. Papam charati purushaha. Anichanapi vashneya baladiva niyojita. So Arjuna is saying, I don't want to do sin. I don't want to make the wrong choice. But still I am so conditioned. Somehow I feel that I cannot resist from making that choice. And so the governing authority should be considerate or should be able to experience, should be a part of this system, should be able to experience that I am in trouble, I need help. Like, right? I don't want to make a mistake, but still mistakes happen. For example, a student, next day exam is there and he very well knows that if I don't study today, I will be in a bad shape tomorrow. I will not be able to do well in the exam tomorrow. But still, my mind is troubling and I am not able to focus on studies. So, and whom to approach now? I cannot approach the governing authority of school that you have made very strict rules that we have to write the exam and pass it, and I'm really in a bad shape. I am not able to focus on studies and I need some more time or things like that. But imagine if you have a loving parent sitting right next to you and you tell your, like I used to do this often, so I can very well relate to this. Next day I have exam and today I am not able to understand everything. I am not able to understand anything. And my mother is sitting next to me and I am asking her, can you please help me? I'm not able to focus. I'm not able to, I think tomorrow I will fail for sure. And she will sit with me and she will guide me. Okay, she will teach me and she will help me to learn things. Even when I was in standard 10th, even still she will sit with me and she will help me with the exams, in the sense that like I will say, okay, I have memorized everything, now you ask me questions from this. I will give her the notebook or the book, and she will ask questions from there and she will see if I am answering properly. And with that, this was a very big support to me. Even if I don't want to study, my mind is not focused and I am feeling like this is too much, tomorrow exam should not be there. But still, just because she is there, I will feel so much solace. Can you relate to this? Have you all experienced this? Have you all experienced that you know this is the rule, I have to follow this, but I am unable to, I am helpless, I am not able to follow this. Can somebody please help me? Or maybe the rule making authorities or the law making authorities, can they be a part of the system and sit with me and see what problems I am facing and help me through those problems? Otherwise it looks very cruel, right? Principal is sitting in her office and she's just giving commands from there and we have to just obey to her commands like a what do you say, a puppet, or not like a puppet, or a slave, or a subject. Like we are just supposed to follow, and if we follow these rules, we are good, otherwise we are doomed. It looks very cruel, right? So, so what Krishna does, so what Krishna does, he actually becomes a part of this system. He becomes a part of this entire cosmos, and he sits next to us. He sits next to me, not just for some time, but all the time. Even when everybody else may leave, he will still be sitting there as Paramatma. And he is a part of this system. So Krishna says, I am in each and every atom. That's what Krishna says. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina matsthani sarva bhutani nachaham tesho avastita. And he says everything is in me. Means I am not separate from this system, in the sense that, okay, I have made this system, but I am also a part of the system. I am apart from your side. Means I am also experiencing what you are experiencing. If I experience troubles or problems in following certain rules and regulations, and Krishna is able to see that, Krishna is able to feel that how I am struggling. This is something really, when I heard this for the first time, I was totally moved that Krishna loves me so much that he is sitting right next to me, and he also experiences what I am experiencing. That is why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in a verse, that when I am experiencing miseries, Paramatma or Krishna who is with me, he is also able to experience that. So if I make wrong choices, and if I do things which bring misery to myself, so I am not just troubling myself, I am also troubling Krishna. This was a really big kind of unimaginable for me. Like, I heard this few days ago actually. I heard this a few days ago, and I was really moved by this. That because earlier I thought, okay, my suffering and my pains and pleasures, Krishna is not directly involved. Of course, he is there to guide me or through Bhagavad Gita, but he is not directly involved with my pains and pleasures. So I am so lonely. If I make a mistake, then means it is me only who is responsible, and it is I only who should be punished. It's very depressing. But when I heard this, no, Krishna is there with me, and he is also able to experience the same pain or pleasure which I am experiencing. This was like somebody takes away a mountain load of burden on me and puts it away. That Krishna is also experiencing what I am experiencing. So I am not alone. Just like my mother was there, and when tomorrow exam is there, she is also feeling miserable because I am miserable. So, and she's also experiencing that pain, and she's also guiding me through that pain, so that I can do it, and in a very practical way, not just theoretically, that she is giving commands or sitting from a distance. No, I will just tell you one more thing about my mother, what she did. When we were in school, we had exams, let's say I have an exam in the morning, let's say 8 o'clock, and generally it was our habit, we won't study in the night. We will study early in the morning. We will sleep very early in the night, and next day early morning, like 2 o'clock, we will get up. So generally 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. we will get up, and we will study early in the morning. We have to memorize things, or we have to, mostly memorizing things, we will do early in the morning. So when next day exam is there, we will get up very early, 2 o'clock we will get up, and we will start finishing up everything, and at the end we will revise everything, whatever is the syllabus. And then we will stop studying. We won't study, let's say 2 hours before the exam, we will stop studying. This was our formula. But now you may ask, how were you able to get up early morning 2 o'clock? So our mother, me and my brother, our mother will sleep with us, and she will sleep in the middle. We are on the two sides, and she will get up at I don't know, 1:45 or something, and she will wake us up. And both of us, we will be mostly sleepy, but we'll get up and we will start studying. And when we are studying, we have a tendency to fall asleep, right? We will sleep, like while studying, sometimes we will sleep, and she will again wake us up, get up, get up, get up. And then again we are sitting in the bed. Generally, let's say I have very sharp memories of winter season. Like we are sitting in the quilt, and early morning we are studying, and you know it's cozy, and we just fall to sleep again. And again she will shake us up and again wake us up, and she will again ask us, okay, study. And if she fails to do that, and let's say if I slept for half an hour or 1 hour and she did not wake me up, then I'll be very angry with her. Why did you not wake me up? So she has a very tough job, right? She always has to wake us up when we fall asleep, and if she fails to do that, she is the one who is going to get chastisement from us. So this is, but she does that, and when we are in trouble, let's say when I need help, she will be up there. Okay, I think I am going too much into details. So similarly, but she is there only for exam time, right? But Krishna is there all the time with us. So Krishna is there all the time with us. In the same way, he is also experiencing the pains and pleasures which I am experiencing. Of course, he is not affected in the sense that it is not that God is his position becomes minimum because of that. But it just shows that he loves us so much, he is always with us. So do not think it otherwise, that Krishna's position is minimized. How can God suffer? So this is a very inconceivable relation, that how Krishna is suffering in my sufferings, but still he is beyond everything. That is why Krishna says, okay, this is a homework assignment. You find out which verse is this which says Krishna also experiences. This is a homework for you. It is a difficult homework, but I hope you can do it. It is there in Bhagavad Gita in some verse. And you may have to find, so means you may have to read every verse. You may not be able to do keyword match. So you may just write Krishna also experiences and verse will come right in front of you. It won't happen. You have to read the verses and see which verse is saying that. But it is very clearly saying. Okay. Yes, so I think it was very different experience for me when I heard Krishna is experiencing. Okay, does verse 9.4 imply that Krishna also experiences what we are experiencing? All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Yeah, and then the next verse says, Nachamatsani bhutani. Still, the living beings are not in me. Pashyame yogam aishwaram. This is my opulence. This is the inconceivable nature of Krishna, that even if we are in Krishna, or we are still not in Krishna. Okay. So 9.4, I don't know if it directly implies that Krishna also experiences. Indirectly, yes, it implies that. But there is another verse which more directly implies. Okay, I think we'll read something from here, because otherwise it won't be nice. So we will continue with our discussion on this part, that how Krishna is also experiencing tomorrow. But you have to do your homework. You have to bring that verse which mentions that. Okay, this is the definition of infinity. Krishna says, I am the source of everything. He is the ultimate source of everything that exists. And you can see in this video. We read this yesterday. Okay, and we also discussed about the material cause, the efficient cause, the final cause. And okay, so after hearing this everything, means after hearing that how Krishna is the source of everything, Arjuna makes a very nice statement. Arjuna says, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn and the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. So Arjuna says that Krishna, he is explaining the position of Krishna as understood by him. And what is that? Krishna is the Param Brahman, Means he is not just Brahman, he is Param Brahman. And he is Param Dhama, he is the ultimate abode. He is Pavitram, he is Pavitra, very pure. Paramam Bhavan, he is the supreme. And he is Purusham Shashvatam Divyam. He is Purusha, he is a person. Person means he is an agent. He is not just laws. Like Mayavadis or the impersonalists say, God is just laws or Brahma Jyoti. No, he is not just laws. He is a person. He is an agent who can actuate things. He has got preferences. I want to actuate in this way, not in this way. That is a person. Shashvatam Divyam. And what kind of person? Shashvatam. Not that Krishna came 5,000 years ago and now he is not there. No, Shashvatam is always there. And Divyam. What kind of person? Not a mundane person. His choices are not mundane. Divyam, transcendental. Adi Devam. He is the original source of all demigods. Ajam. He is unborn. Means nobody made God. Like it is not that today he became God. No. He is Ajam. He is never born. He is always God. God is always God. And Vibhum. Vibhum means the greatest. He is always the greatest. And we are Anu. We are very tiny part of him. And everything is very limited. But God's everything is unlimited. Okay. Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve. Now Arjuna is saying, this is not just my understanding. This is not just my understanding, but this is also the understanding which is corroborated by all the great rishis. Rishayaha Sarve. Who are those rishis? Arjuna is just citing names of a few of those rishis. Like Devarshi Narada's Katha. Devarshi Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa. So he is just giving example of some top-notch rishis who have corroborated the same understanding of Krishna. Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. And you yourself have confirmed this just now. Like just now we saw in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Aham Sarvasya Tabhavo. So Arjuna is saying, okay, they have also confirmed and you are also yourself telling it. So there is no doubt in this understanding. Right? Okay. We will read further tomorrow, and if you have any questions, you can ask today. Leaving this topic that Krishna also experiences, this we can do tomorrow. But if you have any other question, you can ask today, now. Okay. Let's take up an exercise. So you write down the causal principle. Something is caused and trace back the original cause. Where can you stop? Where can you say, oh, this is the ultimate cause and it won't go further back? So take some examples and do an elaborate analysis, not just a theoretical analysis. Okay, seed is there, I planted the seed, so I am the cause, and God is actuating, so God is the cause, Krishna is the cause. Not like that, but a more thorough analysis. Come up with more interesting examples from your own life, something which you have experienced yourself, and then see how can you trace back the cause, right? Okay, we can stop here then. So for tomorrow, two assignments. One is find out the verse in Bhagavad Gita which says Krishna also experiences, and the second is give some examples, at least one example from your life, how you can see, how can you trace back the cause, and do a very elaborate analysis. Don't just jump. Do a very elaborate analysis that how this is caused by this by this, this by this by this, and how much you can go in the to the root cause. Tahasu has some questions. Please ask. Hare Krishna. Please ask the question. Some people say that the way you think, that is the kind of experiences, and people you meet attract towards yourself. Does Bhagavad Gita talk about that? Some people say that the way you think, that is the kind of experiences and people you meet or attract towards yourself. The way you think, That is the kind of experiences and people you meet or attract towards yourself. Like bird of the same feather flock together, right? Oh. So sir often quotes this verse. Okay. Law of attraction. Okay. So sir often quotes this verse, Atmavat manyate jagat. Atmavat manyate jagat. So we see the world as we are. We see the world as we are. If I am in, so Krishna also talks about this topic in when he discusses about 3 modes of material nature in different chapters, like 18th chapter and 14th chapter, the laws of material, the laws of nature, the 3 modes. Which chapter is? Yeah, 14th chapter Krishna discusses 3 modes of material nature, and there Krishna says how different modes are acting, and based on modes we have attractions and we experience things that is conditioned by the modes we have, right? My experience is conditioned by my modes. So the way you think, that is the kind of experiences you get, which means, when I say the way you think, means the kind of modes that are actuating my thinking, that same modes, based on those modes I will get particular kind of experience. The same thing can be experienced differently by different people. I'll give you, maybe you can give examples. How people in mode of goodness, passion and ignorance. We have discussed this example before. I don't know who was here when we were discussing about 3 modes of material nature. Okay, so the same thing can be perceived by 3 different people in different ways. Means 3 people means a person in mode of goodness will experience it differently, mode of passion will experience it differently, mode of ignorance will experience differently. I'll give an example, very gross example. It's from Shastras. There is a boy called Siddhartha, and he has a brother called, I don't remember the name. Siddhartha and his brother, and their father is Yashodhana, maybe Yashodhana, Sudhodhana. Okay. So what happens is, once Siddhartha is roaming around in the garden, he's enjoying he's a prince. He lives in a palace, huge palace, and he has never stepped out of that palace. And when he's walking around in the garden, he saw suddenly one swan or some bird, I don't remember, maybe swan. He fell down from the sky, and he was lying on the ground. He was lying on the ground in the garden. And Siddhartha, when he saw what is that, he saw there was an arrow piercing that bird. An arrow was piercing that bird, and Siddhartha, and that bird was crying. He was suffering. He was bleeding and suffering. Siddhartha became very much moved by his situation. Immediately he approached the bird. He took out that arrow and put some mud on him so that the bleeding can stop, blood can clot. And in this way Siddhartha tried to save that bird. And with little bit of care, the bird was able to regain its consciousness and was able to look normal. Immediately the brother came rushing, and with a bow and arrow in his hand, and he said, Siddhartha, give me that bird. Siddhartha said, why? He said, I have shot him down, I have knocked him down, this is mine. Siddhartha said, how can you claim somebody like that, right? That bird is a bird, it has its own rights, or it has its own life. How can you claim that bird? But the brother was saying, no, this is my shikar. I want to have it. I want to, I don't know, do whatever with it, kill it or whatever. So the same bird was looked at by 2 people in very different ways. And on one hand, Siddhartha saw that bird is a loving creature, a very friendly creature, so worthy of our affection. On the other hand, his brother saw that creature as his own prey, and he can do whatever with it and exploit it in any way, kill it or take out all his uh, parts and do whatever cruel he wants to do, right? So the same bird was seen by in a different way, because these two people were in different modes, right? You can give more examples. I think once we were discussing if somebody sees a river, how will they react? So maybe this can be also an assignment. Let's say if you see a river, if you are in mode of goodness, what will be your reaction? How will you perceive it? If you are in mode of passion, what will you perceive? If you are in mode of ignorance, how will you perceive? Right? This is another assignment for you. So 3 assignments now. Should we stop here? Maybe these questions you can note down and ask tomorrow at the beginning, so that we can continue from these questions. Because it's 8:04 and sir will be starting anytime soon. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.